This is EB3, Speaking the Truth in Love, and I'll just come on for a few minutes, guys. Food for thought. Listen, let's not judge a book by its cover all the time. And I wasn't going to talk about this because I know it could open up wounds. It could be offensive. But sometimes the truth hurts. And sometimes the truth is exactly what people need. So I'm going to talk about the interview that I watched earlier with between Shannon Sharpe and Kirk Franklin. So if you guys are not aware, of course, Kirk Franklin is one of the most popular gospel artists out there. He's been out there for over 20-something years. Back when Stomp, just so many great songs. He's a great writer. He wrote a lot of Now Behold the Lamb of God. He wrote he has written a lot of good worship and praise music. But at the same time, he's taken a lot of heat for, the way he performed, the way he carried himself sometimes. And in recent years, he had a little rift with him and his son. I believe that they've kind of resolved all that. Those are his family issues. Everybody have them. I don't know why people act like it's when a celebrity or when a saint of God, a servant of God, have issues, personal problems in their relationships, be it family, friendship, business. These are natural things that occur. Trouble will be with us always. The poor will be with us always. Right? But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the interview. And I thought it was very interesting interviews. I watch a lot of interviews. I watch a lot of documentaries. I like history, and I'm just interested in people, what make them do the things that they do. That's that's who I am. So I was watching again the show, and I already watched the documentary, the making of his newest, Kirk Franklin's newest album, and also the discovery of his biological father. So long story short, Kirk Franklin, one of the most renowned gospel artists, multi-talented, gifted. He was adopted as a little boy, raised by his adopted mother was an older lady, 60-something years old. Also, he knew his mother. He knew his biological mother. She was in and out, never really showed him any love, any compassion, the things that a child needs from their mother. But she also told him that one person was his biological father. And he recently found out that is not true. So I said all that to say my heart really goes out to the brother. And I'm going to say something that a lot of people are probably not going to agree with. But I feel like, and I've thought this for a long time, but I'm going to say it out loud. DNA test, it wasn't around when Kirk was born, but DNA tests should be taken. Because every child deserves to know where they come from. You deserve to know the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes the truth hurts. I mean, if you've been cheating and that's not the baby daddy, hey, sometimes the truth hurts. But the thing about Kirk Franklin's situation is the amount of rejection he had as a child. The amount of rejection. And then to find out that one of the people that rejected him, that he had such strong feelings for, such mixed feelings. On the hand, you want that person to accept you and love you. And on the other hand, you kind of despise them because they don't. That's a lot. And that's a lot for a person to have to deconstruct, because it's your whole life. 50-something years old, that's a long time. A lot of people don't live to be 50. So that's a long time to deal with a person and to find out that that person is not your father. And my heart goes out to anybody who's gone through that. And I suspect there's a lot more going through this situation, but who feels like they cannot speak out. Due to, in some circumstances, you really don't want to interrupt the relationship you already have. And in other situations, you really don't want to alienate the one parent that you have, that you love, and that you've trusted all your life. So my heart goes out to him because his mother rejected him. He knew his mother all those years. And my heart goes out to her as well, because she feels like she's got to hold on to that lie, even though the truth has come to light. Because after 2 DNA tests, she still wants to say that it's not true. That what she told her son is the truth. And that is this other man that's dead and gone. He left this earth believing that Kirk Franklin was his child, his son. And they were kind of estranged. But he left this earth believing that he was the father of this man. And that he did not take care of his full responsibility to this child who was not his. I mean, how fair is that to him? So he doesn't know. But what about all his family? That is a messed up situation. That is one of those situations where you really, really have to trust God. And you really have to believe that the Lord is sovereign in all situations. That God knows what's best for you, even when you don't understand. God has a way of working things out. He has a way of revealing the truth, but he also has a way of preserving you in the midst of the storm. He has to go through this publicly when so many others have to go through it privately. So I want people, and we can't blame it all on the woman, but I want people to think about what they're doing. Because all of our choices, everybody's choices affect other people. Who you lay down with, whether you were married or not, who you marry, all those choices affect other people. And not only do they affect other people, they affect generations to come. Because they affect how the person that was rejected, it affect them, right? Then it affect how they move in the world. So it affects all their relationships. It affects their children. Because you either overcompensate or you undercompensate. Because you want people to like you. You've been rejected by the one person, the two people that's supposed to love you the most. Your mother. When you're rejected by your mother, when you don't feel loved by your mother, that is the most, first of all, unnatural thing, because a mother should love her children no matter what. Even if they have to give them up, they should still have this longing, this love, this for that child, where they want to know what's going on with them. Are they in the right hands? How are they making it? Do they remember you? If you walk up to them in the street, would they know you? You know, those are the things that a mother would want. But this person knew him. This mother knew him. And there's so many children, because it's got me thinking how many children out there who even live with their mother and feel the rejection every day because they got them by somebody that they didn't want to have them by. And I know this is a hard conversation. This is a hard thing to think about. But that's what happens a lot. That's what happens a lot. The woman is tired. She's frustrated. She don't know what his man is. And even if she does, he doesn't give her any help. And resentment builds up in a lot of cases. They don't admit it. But think about it. Anytime somebody says, you just like, it's the attitude in what you just like your daddy. It's the attitude in what you do it. Now, you just like your daddy. See the difference? You just like your daddy. Or, man, you are just like your daddy. See the difference? So, in that case, the lady gave the child up. But in a lot of cases, the mother doesn't give the child up. But there's still a certain amount of rejection because there's frustration with the person that she laid down with and got the baby. So I guess I'm saying that we as women, we need to make sure who we give ourselves to. And we need to make sure that we know who our children's fathers are. And it's not a condemn on those who don't, but it's, for the ones who don't have children yet. Let's not make the same mistakes that other generations have. Let's put our future ahead of the pleasure that we may have right now. Because I couldn't imagine. I just couldn't imagine to have to tell my son something. One of my sons that their dad is not their dad. I just couldn't imagine it. And we as the people or the women of God, we should be a better example for the world. We can't do the same things that people in the world do. If you're married, don't commit adultery. If you're not married, don't commit fornication. Let's live a holy and righteous life as much as possible. Because what you do and what I do, it matters. And it affects not only us, but it affects all those around us. And it affects our future. So think about that before you do anything. Always think about the consequences. Always think about what happens in the future. Because nobody asked to be here. And I know people in my generation, we used to say that a lot as a kid. But the older I get, the more I see that is true. Nobody asked to be here. But when you, as my grandmother would say, when you play with fire, baby, you get burned. And if you playing around too many fires, then now you don't know who you got burned by. And that burn could be you got a lifetime of looking into this baby's face and not knowing who their father is. Or it could be something way worse than that. You got a lifetime of taking medicine for an incurable disease, and you don't need to have a sexual relationship with anybody else because you're doing too much, because you can't say no. Listen, this is not something, I don't want to just be bashing on somebody, but I want you all to think about what you're doing before you do it and realize that to look into your child's face and know that you don't know who their father is, that is not cute, and that's not good. Now, for those who have lived that and who's living that now, it's not a bash on you. You're not the only one that's done it, but we want to stop that cycle. You know, what's done is done. Let's move forward and let's teach people to do better than what we've done. If you're one of those people. It's not to bash on you. It's not to make you feel guilty. But it's everything that we go through. Everything that we go through, we have to use it to make life better for somebody else. We don't want other people to make the same mistakes. There's mistakes I've made. That's not one of them. But there's mistakes that I've made that I don't want the next generation of women come behind me make. Okay? So, this has been EB3 Speaking the Truth in Love. Be blessed and be a blessing. And think about what you do before you do it. I'm out. And God still loves you. I want you to know before I leave this, God still loves you if you're one of the ones that made that mistake. But again, let's help the next generation. Let's stop the cycles. Let's stop the curse. Be blessed, be a blessing, and I'm out.